Matt is in Dallas. Hey, Matt, welcome to the EntreLeadership Podcast.
Hey, thanks, Dave. Thanks for what you do. Love the podcast and the show. Really
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. How can I help?
So my question today is, how do we dial in a fourth quarter bonus? Just a little bit of context. My wife and I own a small staffing and recruiting franchise. We've got 7 employees and did about $1.2 million last year. And we're trying to put a good fourth quarter bonus on the table that would, incentivize people on our sales team just to push that little bit more to the end of the year. And it just feels challenging to dial in the right goal. Too high, it's not attainable. Too low, it feels like a gimme to the team. Or if something kind of gets off track, the wind gets knocked out of their sails, and the next 10 weeks are a slog talking about it. And I just wanted to hear what you've done to dial in like a fourth quarter incentive bonus. Is it better to do small, like $25 bite-sized goals along the way, or a big $500 bonus if you hit this big number? What's worked for you?
Now you're talking about not a fourth quarter bonus that you start talking about at the first of the year, but you're talking about today heading into the fourth quarter, a bonus this quarter.
Exactly.
Yeah, I wouldn't try to do a fourth. I have not had good experience doing a fourth quarter bonus talking about it in January. It's too far out to be motivating, so I'm making sure I know what I'm talking with you about. So yeah, if you're talking about doing that right now, between now and the end of the year, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it's for staffing, right?
Right. So we have contractors on billing. So for example, one team member, she averaged 35 contractors on billing in the third quarter. So we set out a goal, hey, let's do 5 contractors on billing for the fourth quarter, 5 more to average 40. But then she got 8 of her contractors hired on, which felt a little bit uncontrollable because she did a good job. They got hired on, but now the average is down to 27. So it feels like a big mountain to climb to get back up to 40, and the wind's out of her sails a little bit. So I'm looking at myself saying, did we set the right goal to set her up to win, or what has Dave done on this? That's what the question was coming to my mind.
Yeah. Sometimes what I've done is the mistake I have made a time or two, and I'm trying to ascertain in your story if you did this, is I paid people a bonus for an activity that I thought would lead to profit. And instead, they did the activity so well that it led to no profit. And so you have to be careful because they're going to do what you pay them to do, right? I mean, if you set an activity related to the bonus, they're going to go do the activity. I mean, all of us are going to push the food button and the food's going to come out into the bowl, right? We're all going to do that. And so you have to be careful that the unintended consequence, like, for instance, I had a manager over our incoming 800 call center years ago, and I started paying him on the gross revenues. Well, what did he want to do? He wanted to hire 16 people to jam the gross revenues up, which of course would have meant that the additional gross revenue produced negative profit. So I figured out I need to pay this guy on the net profit of the room, not on the gross revenues of the room, because I got the wrong result. You follow me?
Right.
So that's the kind of crap mistake I've made over the years. Is they're going to do he was all excited about increasing gross revenue with no thought at all of the fact that it needed to turn into net profit, because that wasn't what I was paying him for. So I had to change his incentive plan. So that may be the case here. I mean, you got so many dadgum contractors, you couldn't get them all onboarded, and they weren't productive. They weren't as productive per sale as you thought they were going to be. It sounded like. Did I hear that right?
Well, so they were placed at a company, and then the company hired them on. And so when our goal was to increase your number billing by 5 to 40, and the number went down, it just feels like, okay, I've got to get now 13 more because I got 8 hired on. And that feels like a lot.
Well, does she get paid when they get hired on as well as when she got the contractor?
No, because she just gets paid off. The commission is based off of weekly billing, the gross margin on a weekly billing. So once that weekly billing goes away, you've made your profit over the 13 weeks prior of billing.
So do you make money? Do you make money when they hire them on, though, right?
No, we don't do a buyout fee at the end. If they complete the number of hours billed, then there's no fee at the end. So we just kind of that
Okay,
is
so
like
if you put if you staff a contractor on the team and they end up becoming a full-time employee, you lose billable hours then.
right. Yep. After
Okay,
that,
I'm catching
so
on.
typically our contract might be I place a receptionist with you for 520 hours. You agree to keep them for 520 hours and make the margin for that time. And then after that, you keep them and we've made our money over that time.
And that's obviously standard. That's obviously standard in your world.
Right. Yeah, that's a normal practice for us.
Okay. So you're always working yourself out of business.
In that sense, if we do our job well, and that's our aim.
Yeah, you put quality people on, they stay on as full time. You lose the billable. You got to go find more quality people. Yeah.
So we're always in sales.
Yeah.
We're always in sales.
Yeah.
How do we get more people
You're unemployed every morning on that. Well, number one, I mean, that's okay. That's an okay business model. You just have to say it out loud, and that last 10% of truth scares the crud out of you, but that's good. So, number one, I might go back and rethink a different way, be inventive on how to do this business. Is there a way where we can charge them less per hour and then get a bump if they hire them? And so we're happy if they hire them, because right now we're unhappy if they hire them. And so I might rethink the business model, but that's a sidebar. Back to your bonus then. How do we do a bonus in this current without reinventing your whole stupid business, which I don't want to do. You may want to do that, but I'm not going to do that right now. I love the business. It sounds great. So you're getting punished mathematically. How do we keep your salespeople from getting punished mathematically and not put you upside down? So let's say they hired 10 and all 10 stayed permanent. That salesperson's starting over, but so are you, right?
Right.
So that's the nature of the beast. So you get paid when there's billable hours. They get paid when there's billable hours. Oh, well, that's how your business works. They know that. And so if they add 15 and all 15 of them leave and they start back from zero, well, that's the nature of the business. This is the rough and tumble of your world. And so, you got knocked down on this particular play. You get up and you play another play and you don't throw an interception, right? So it's not an interception because it's not actually a mistake. It's just the nature of the thing.
Another touchdown.
Yeah,
and your touchdown bleeds out.
A touchdown you get to cash a check, but so not here. I think you have to really set your narrative with your salespeople around. You are not failing when you start from zero. It's part of what we do. You're not failing when you have less people creating billable hours because they became permanents. It's part of what we do. And so what the bonus should be based on is number put into service, not number continuing in service.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to pay them. This is what drives your business engine. Number put into service is what drives your business engine. And anybody that stays in service is like good. That's awesome, but it's gravy on the biscuit because we don't really even expect them to. We expect them to either bail or become permanents.
Right.
It's a high turnover either way. Yeah, so pay them for putting it in service, not for. So I probably would quit paying on billable hours. I would try to figure out if you've got enough data, it would be very cool to back into it and figure out every time you launch one, you make an average of X before they bail or become permanent, or they may stay on 2 years. But the average, every time we launch one, they are worth X on average.
They're actually worth
across
they're worth about $2,500.
Okay,
so I do know that.
That's your lifetime value.
About
I'm going to pay them on that. I'm going to pay them on that. It might be might be a higher percentage. But every time you launch one, you don't have to worry about the billable hours. You don't have to worry about whether they go permanent. That's me. I got to worry about that. I'm the owner. That's on me. But your job is to launch them. And if you're now in the In the insurance business, they add another element to it. If you launch a bunch of crap and it all turns bad, in other words, you're just launching because now I'm paying you to launch, right? I'm paying you to put new people on, but you start putting crappy ones in there so they turn over even faster, or they never become permanents and they become problems for me because I got to go manage the upset client because we sent crappy people over there because you're just getting paid to launch, so you're launching anything that breathes air instead of putting quality on. In the insurance business, if you sell a life insurance policy and it doesn't stay on the books 3 years, they recoup on you. That's called persistence in that world. If the business isn't quality business and the people want a refund, then they'll recoup on the agent and take their commission back. I wouldn't go that far, but I would say, I'm going to pay you on the $2,500. I'm going to pay you to launch as long as your quality stays up. Is this making sense, or am I just barking up a tree?
No, it's so cool to hear an outside my fishbowl perspective, because I'm swimming in this fishbowl. And I'm just thinking, how many people I'm billing? How many people I'm billing? Can we raise our average?
That's where you get your money. But the way they get their money is by launching, because they're going to lose them all.
And that puts their focus on how many starts can I get this week?
Yeah.
Where can I get someone started? Who can I get someone started? How do I get them started? Where do I get the person?
And they have to be quality. I'm not starting mouth breathers.
Right.
Okay? We're not starting knuckle draggers. We're starting quality because I don't want my customer pissed off because I'm sending substandard humans over there.
Right.
Yeah, this is good. That's fun, Matt. It's a great discussion. You're a stud, man. I love what you're doing. You're a great small business guy, thinking and pushing and grappling. And then the last thing is I'm going to go back maybe first of next year, and I'm going to start to think about, am I going to bill these people less and I'm going to become a recruiter as well as a staffer, meaning I get paid when they hire on as a permanent, but maybe I don't charge quite as much, so I do get paid. So now I got a real incentive to get somebody hired. And I'm happy when they get hired. Happy if they don't get hired. I'm happy if they do get hired. I'm happy if they don't get hired because I'm billing them per hour. I'm happy if they do get hired because I get a little bump then, because I built that into the deal. I know that's not the industry standard process, but I don't give a crap what the industry standard is. I'm all about breaking that. All about doing something smarter than the industry's doing. Contrarian ideas. It's fun to think about. We do that all the time here. We try to break stuff before it's broken. We don't wait till it breaks to fix it. We want to break it now. And that's really cool. Very cool, Matt. You're fun. That's great. I love it.